Okay, so now we know that whenever the transversal line cuts through two parallel lines, some angles are formed, some special angles are formed. So we are going to look at these angles over here and their properties. So now this is a summary of what we are going to do. I mean the green ones, the green ones are equal. The red ones over there are also equal. So in this case, the angle A is equal to the angle D, the angle C is equal to the angle B, C is equal to F, C is equal to J, B is equal to F, and so on. And anytime you take any of the two angles over there, the red and the green, and you add them, you're supposed to get 180. Okay, that is their supplementary. So in this case, it is either any two angles you pick over here, it is either they are equal or they are supplementary. And I've given you a clear indication about that with the colors. So anytime you pick two angles with the same color, they are equal. If they are of different colors, then they are supplementary angles. So now we are going to look at what the corresponding angles are, what the alternate angles are, what the co-interior angles are. Then finally we talk about the vertically opposite angles. So we start off with the corresponding angles. So now when we talk of corresponding angles, now these are angles that have matching positions relative to the transversal and the parallel lines. So when we say they have matching positions, now when you take a look at these two parallel lines over here and you consider the transversal line, if I take the angle A, you realize that in relative to these angles over here, the angle A is at the top left. So to get to the angle A is at the top left. Now when I consider these angles over here, to get the angle E is also at the top left. So meaning the angle A and the angle E are corresponding angles. The same way, I can take the angle B. So the angle B is at the top right. The angle F is at the top right. So it means that the angle B and the angle F are also corresponding angles. That is what it means by they have the matching positions. Okay, so if I take the C and the J, so the C is at the bottom left, the J is at the bottom left. So it means that the C and the J are corresponding angles. So change this over here to J. And finally, the D and the H, the D and the H are also corresponding angles. So the D is at the bottom right, the H is at the bottom right. So they have matching position. So therefore they are also corresponding. And you take notes, corresponding angles are equal. They are always equal. Okay, so corresponding angles are always equal. So that is it for the corresponding angles. Then the alternate angles. Now when we talk of alternate angles, now alternate angles lies inside the parallel lines on opposite sides of the transversal. So they lie inside of the parallel lines. So these are the angles that are inside of the parallel lines and they are on opposite sides. So they lie inside and they are on opposite side of the transversal line. So in this case, the alternate angles we are going to have will be C and F. And the easiest way to spot alternate angles will be when you draw the Z shape. It's very easy when you have the Z shape. So when I draw the Z shape over here like this, and this angle and this angle over here are alternate angles. The same way this angle over here, the D and then the E are also alternate angles. And alternate angles are always equal. So alternate angles are equal. So we have the C and F and we have the E and the D. These are the alternate angles that we have. Then we can talk of the co-interior angles. Now with the co-interior angles, they lie inside of the parallel lines and they are on the same side of the transversal. So take note of the difference between the alternate angles and the corresponding angles. So with the alternate angles, they lie inside of the parallel lines and they are on opposite side of the transversal. So for the alternate angles, they are on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay. But for the co-interior angle, they also lie within the they also lie inside of the parallel lines. So they lie inside of the parallel lines and they are on the same side of the transversal. So in this case, it will be C and E. They are on the same side of the transversal line. So this is an example of co-interior angle. Then we can also have the D and an F. So this is also a co-interior angle. So we have the D and F. Then the last one, it is not really related to the parallel lines, but it's also helpful in this case. So vertically opposite angles. So now these are angles that are formed by any two lines that intersect. So if I have two lines, so let's say I have these two lines, and if this angle over here is A, then this should be A. That is what basically the vertically opposite angles are. From the diagram over here, if I consider this line and I consider this line, the A and the D are vertically opposite angles. The C and the B are vertically opposite angles. Then if I consider this line and this line, the E and the H are vertically opposite angles. The same way the J and the F are also vertically opposite angles. So now we've seen what the corresponding angles are. They are angles with a matching position. We've seen what the alternate angles are. They lie inside of the parallel lines and they are on opposite side of the transversal. We've seen what the co-interior angles are. They also lie inside of the parallel lines and they are on the same side as the transversal. And the vertically opposite angles are formed from two intersecting lines. So these are the special angles that we had to look at. So for the corresponding angles, they are always equal. You take note of that. For the alternate angles, they are also always equal. But for the co-interior angles, they are supplementary. That is, they are supposed to add up to 180. So when I do the C plus the E, I get 180. And if I do the D plus the F, I get 180. So 180 for this because co-interior angles are always supplementary. So I told you that when from this over here, if I take any green angle and I take a red angle and I add, I'm supposed to get 180. All the green angles are equal and all the red angles are also equal. So this is to help you to be able to identify the ones that are equal and the ones that are supplementary.